The caller ID displayed an unknown number, and a fear, suspense and eerie feeling washed over him. "Hello." His voice was steady, though his heart raced. A hushed, urgent voice responded, "Banto, listen carefully. They are behind you, tonight." Then the call dropped. His heart hammered against his chest as panic began to take over. He glanced around, open land, no shelter, no protection. Was his family safe in the village, unaware of the danger approaching? Who were these people behind him, and why were they coming? He stood frozen for a moment, the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. Fear clutched his chest as the realization hit, he might not survive long enough to reach his family. His life was no longer his own, it had become entangled in something far darker. Banto's phone buzzed. A single text appeared, "Trust no one." His pulse quickened. Who sent this? Who had he angered? His fingers trembled as he typed a reply, no response. The night deepened, thick with an eerie stillness. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound carried a hidden threat. He had to reach his family. Now, as he neared the village, the usual hum of life, children laughing, animals stirring, was gone. The silence felt unnatural, like the world itself was holding its breath. His family's house loomed ahead. A suffocating dread coiled around his chest. He called out, "Mom, Dad." Silence. With a pounding heart, he stepped inside. The air was thick with unease. Then, a movement in the shadows. Banto froze. Luozi, his old friend. But something was different. His eyes, once familiar, were cold, empty. A slow, unsettling smile spread across Luozi's face. Something was very, very wrong. "Luozi." Banto's voice trembled. "What's going on? Where's my family?" Luozi stepped closer, his smile unsettlingly calm. "They are here. It's too late. There's no way out." Banto's heart pounded. Was Luozi here to help, or was he the threat? "Why are you doing this?" Banto demanded. "Where's my family?" Luozi's expression darkened. His voice was low, cryptic. "You never should have gotten involved, Banto. You're just a pawn in a much bigger game." The room felt smaller, the walls closing in. Banto realized with chilling certainty, Luozi was no longer the friend he once knew. Banto's heart raced as he struggled to understand the truth. Luozi had once been his closest friend, but now, it felt like he was hiding something much darker. The pieces of the puzzle didn't fit. The truth was slipping through his fingers like sand. Who's behind all this? Banto demanded, desperation in his voice. "What do they want?" Luozi's face grew more serious. "They want what you have, Banto. You've been chosen. But whether you survive this night, that's up to you." Banto felt the walls closing in. He couldn't back down. He had to protect his family, no matter the cost. But the question lingered, could he even trust Luozi anymore? Luozi's words echoed in Banto's mind, "They want what you have, but whether you survive this night, that's up to you." Before he could demand answers, Luozi vanished into the shadows. Dread coiled in Banto's chest. Something terrible was unfolding. His phone buzzed. A new message. Not a warning, a video. Banto's breath itched as the screen lit up. His family, bound and terrified, huddled in a dimly lit room. A masked figure loomed over them, voice cold and mechanical. 1 million. One night. If you want them back alive. Banto's stomach dropped. 1 million. He could barely afford a decent pair of shoes, let alone that kind of money. Panic surged, but he couldn't afford to freeze. His family's lives depended on him. Clutching his phone like a lifeline, he raced to the police station, his last hope. Banto slammed his phone onto the officer's desk, voice trembling. "Please, help me. My family, they'll kill them if I don't pay." The officer watched the video with a furrowed brow. "We'll look into it. Look into it." Banto's desperation turned to anger. "They'll die if you don't act now." His phone buzzed. "Luozi." Meet me at the old warehouse if you want the truth. Banto knew it was a trap, but he had no choice. The warehouse loomed ahead, shrouded in darkness. Inside, Lozi stood waiting, unnervingly calm. "Why are you doing this?" Banto's voice wavered with rage. "We were brothers." Lozi's expression was cold. "It was never about friendship. It's business. They paid me well to set you up." Banto's fist clenched. "You betrayed me, and my family." Lozi stepped closer, whispering, "You're just a pawn in a much bigger game. And here's some advice: don't waste time trusting anyone else. They won't help you." Banto's blood ran cold. Banto felt the weight of betrayal crushing him, but just as he thought all hope was lost, a voice cut through the darkness. "I can help." It was Inspector Zondo, a seasoned officer known for cracking high-profile cases. He had overheard Banto's desperate pleas earlier and had been silently investigating the case. "We've been tracking this gang for months," Zondo explained. "Your family's kidnapping fits their pattern perfectly. If you trust me, we'll get them back." For the first time in hours, Banto felt a flicker of hope. "What do I have to do?" "Stay calm. Follow my instructions." Zondo assembled a specialized task force, gathering intelligence and planning a rescue mission. Every second mattered. They tracked the kidnappers to an old factory on the outskirts of town, the same factory where Lozi's text messages had originated. The night was thick with tension as Zondo's team surrounded the factory. The plan was simple but dangerous: strike fast, take them by surprise. Banto's heart pounded. He prayed for his family's safety. Inside, the kidnappers lounged, unaware of what was coming. "Go," Zondo signaled. The doors burst open. Gunfire. Shouts. Chaos. The kidnappers scrambled to fight back, but the police were faster. Stronger. Through the mayhem, Banto spotted them, his parents, tied up, terrified. "Mom. Dad. I'm here." He ran, hands trembling as he untied the ropes. Tears streamed down his mother's face. "It's over. You're safe now." Flashing lights blurred the aftermath, arrests, statements. And then, Lozi. Emotionless. Unshaken. "You pay for this," Banto said, voice steady. Lozi smirked. "Maybe. But I got what I wanted." Zondo placed a firm hand on Banto's shoulder. "He's done. It's over." Life slowly returned to normal. The betrayal still burned, but Banto had his family. That was all that mattered. As he sat outside one evening, watching them laugh, he finally smiled. They had survived. And he would protect them, no matter the cost.